The rule was simple. It was etched into every interface, whispered in every briefing, embedded in every neural implant of those assigned to the border. Do not form emotional bonds with the observed. Commander Elias Varn had recited it 1,000 times. It was the first thing drilled into him when he joined the Interstellar Observation Corps, and the last thing he heard before being deployed to the edge of known space. And yet, as he stood beneath the violet sky of Kepler 442c, watching her walk toward him, he already knew. He had broken it, beginning the rule. The planet had been classified as Sentient Civilization Tier 3, advanced enough to understand language, primitive enough to not detect observation fleets. Elias had been sent as a proxy, a human embedded among them in a synthetic form tailored to blend in. That was the first problem. The second problem was her. Her name was Lyra. She wasn't human, not even close. Her species, the Ilari, were tall, luminescent beings with translucent skin that shimmered like glass under starlight. Their eyes reflected entire spectrums of color, shifting with emotion. They didn't speak the way humans did. They felt their language. And Elias, through the neural interface implanted in his skull, could feel it too. That was how it started. Not with words, with emotion. The first time they met, Lyra had approached him cautiously, her glow dim and uncertain. "You are not from here," she had said, not with her voice, but directly into his mind. Elias had followed protocol. "I am a traveler," he replied, masking his true nature. She studied him, her colors flickering between curiosity and something softer. "Then you are lost." "I suppose I am." That made her smile. And in that moment, something inside Elias shifted. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Elias reported everything back to the observation fleet orbiting beyond detection, cultural behaviors, technological progress, emotional patterns. But there was one thing he didn't report. Lyra. She showed him her world. Floating cities tethered by strands of energy. Forests that glowed with bioluminescent life. Oceans that sang. And through it all, she remained by his side. Teaching him. Trusting him. Opening herself to him in ways that went far beyond language. "You feel different," she told him one evening as they stood on a cliff overlooking a sea of liquid light. "Different how?" Elias asked. "Like you're always holding something back." He hesitated. "That's just who I am." She stepped closer, her glow softening. "No," she said gently. "It's not who you are. It's what you're hiding." That night, Elias didn't send his report. For the first time since his deployment, he disconnected from the fleet. And for the first time in his life, he allowed himself to feel. The violation. The warning came 3 days later. A sharp pulse in his neural implant. A direct transmission from the observation fleet. "Commander Varn, you have failed to submit your report. Resume protocol immediately." Elias ignored it. He was with Lyra when the second message came. More urgent. More dangerous. Emotional deviation detected. "You are in violation of Rule 1. Lyra sensed the disturbance immediately. "What is that?" she asked, her light flickering with concern. Elias forced a smile. "Nothing. Just a headache." She didn't believe him. "You're lying." He wanted to tell her. He wanted to explain everything, the mission, the rule, the truth of who he was. But the consequences were clear. If the Ilari discovered they were being observed, the fleet would intervene. And intervention meant annihilation. So he said nothing. And that silence became the third problem. The fleet didn't wait long. On the 7th day of silence, they sent an enforcer. Elias felt it before he saw it. A presence descending from orbit. Cold. Precise. Unforgiving. The enforcer was not human. It was something else, something engineered for one purpose. to correct deviations. It found him at the edge of the city, just as Lyra was showing him a hidden sanctuary deep within the crystalline structures. The air shifted, the light dimmed, and then it appeared, a figure of pure black, absorbing all color around it. Lyra recoiled instantly. "What is that?" she whispered. Elias stepped in front of her. "I need you to go," he said urgently. "I'm not leaving you. Lyra, please." The enforcer spoke. Its voice was mechanical, devoid of emotion. "Commander Elias Varn, you are in violation of Directive 1. Emotional attachment to an observed species is prohibited." Lyra's eyes widened. "Observed?" Elias closed his eyes. It was over. "Return with me," the enforcer continued. "Your mission is terminated." "I'm not going back," Elias said. "That is not a choice. It is now." Lyra stepped forward, her glow flaring with confusion and fear. "Elias, what is it talking about?" He turned to her, and for the first time, he told the truth. "I'm not from here," he said. "I was sent to study your world. All of this, everything, I was supposed to observe it, not be part of it." Her light flickered violently. "You lied to me." "I know. You used me." "No," he said quickly. "Never that." He stopped. The words caught in his throat. The enforcer interrupted. "This interaction is unnecessary. The subject will be neutralized to preserve operational secrecy." Lyra froze. "Neutralized?" Elias's blood ran cold. "No," he said, stepping forward. "You're not touching her." "You are compromised," the enforcer replied. "Your judgment is no longer valid." Elias made a decision. A final one. He attacked. The fight was short. The enforcer was faster, stronger, and built for combat. But Elias had something it didn't. Desperation. He managed to damage it just enough. The enforcer staggered, its form flickering. But it wasn't enough. It raised its arm, targeting Lyra. Elias moved without thinking. He stepped in front of her. The blast hit him directly, ending the impossible rule. Pain. Blinding. Total. Elias collapsed, his synthetic body failing, systems shutting down one by one. Lyra caught him before he hit the ground. "Elias!" she cried, her light pulsing wildly. The enforcer recalibrated, its voice glitching. "Target incomplete. Correction required." But it didn't fire again. Its systems were failing too. Elias looked up at Lyra, his vision fading. "I'm sorry," he whispered. She shook her head, tears of light streaming down her face. "Why?" she asked. "Why would you do this?" He smiled weakly. "Because I broke the rule." Her light dimmed. "I don't understand." "The rule was not to fall in love," he said. Silence. And then, she understood. Her glow changed. Not fear. Not anger. Something deeper. Something that matched what he felt. "You will love me," she whispered. Elias didn't have the strength to speak. But he nodded. For a moment, everything was still. The broken enforcer. The silent sky. The fading light. And then Lyra did something unexpected. She reached into his mind. The Ilari had one ability Elias had never fully understood. They could share consciousness. Not just thoughts. Not just emotions. But everything. "You said there was a rule," she said softly. "Then let me break it too." Before he could react, she connected. Elias felt it instantly. Her mind. Her memories. Her emotions. And something more. Her life force. "No," he tried to say. "Lyra, stop." But it was too late. She was giving him everything. "You can't stay here," she said gently. "But I can go with you." His systems surged, energy flooding back into his failing body. But it wasn't his energy. It was hers. Lyra, you'll die. She smiled. Then we'll be the same. The transfer completed. Elias gasped as his system stabilized. But Lyra collapsed. No, he said, catching her. Stay with me. Her light flickered weakly. I am, she whispered. Can't you feel me? And he could. Inside his mind. A presence. Her presence. The enforcer powered down completely. The threat was gone. But the cost. Elias looked at her fading form. You didn't have to do this. She smiled faintly. Yes, I did. Why? Because, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I broke the rule too. Her light faded. Completely. And then, she was gone. Elias stood there, holding her lifeless form, the weight of everything crashing down on him. He had saved her. And lost her. At the same time, the fleet arrived hours later. Recovery ships descending from orbit. They found him alone. Silent. Changed. Commander Varn, a voice said over the comm report. Elias didn't answer immediately. He stared out at the glowing horizon of the world he had come to love. And then, he felt her. A whisper in his mind. Soft. Familiar. Alive. I'm still here. Elias closed his eyes. A tear slipping down his face. Then he spoke. Mission complete, he said. But that wasn't true. Not really. Because the rule had been broken. And something impossible had taken its place. They had fallen in love. And even death hadn't been enough to separate them.